Kingda's closure will go down in history as one of, if not the most tragic roller coaster closure of all time. Well, at least so far. We have no idea what Six Flags is cooking up next, if even the king of coasters is on the chopping block. Yes, I'm talking to you, X2 fans. Anyways, whether you love Kingda or not, you gotta agree that something big needs to fill its shoes. As someone who has Great Adventure as his home park, 2024 is a rough year, man. Especially for our 50th anniversary. Our new coaster got delayed, and the Sky Ride, Daredevil Dive, Cyborg, Zumanjaro, and Kingda closed. Top Thrill 2 was closed basically all year. That's not Great Adventure's fault. And I guess Green Lantern closed too, which, I mean, good riddance. I mean, oh no, this sucks. Six Flags, boo.
Bo ho, bo ho, bo ho, bo ho.
The parachutes are also being taken down, but those have been closed for so long that it doesn't really matter anymore. Point is, Great Adventure has a lot of space to work with here, and we know this is going to be a record-breaking launch coaster. So what exactly are we looking at here? Well, I'm going to go over the 5 most likely ideas, and then at the end I'll reveal which one I think is most likely. First up is Gerstlauer. We know they can build some crazy stuff. They've built some good rides in the States like Hang Time, Shellraiser, and Monster, but most of their best stuff looks to be overseas with rides like Carnin and Smiler. Speaking of Smiler, Great Adventure could very well go with the inversion record here. Imagine a 200-foot launch coaster along with a vertical lift that goes upside down at least 10 times to get the record in the US, but maybe even go 15 to get the record worldwide. Basically, Carnin and Smiler mixed together, it could be fantastic and probably even better than Kingda ever was. Don't worry, I still love you, darling. Maybe it could even break the record for the roller coaster with the steepest drop, taking the record from a coaster in the same state. Yeah, probably not. Thing is, I don't see Gerstlauer venturing into the 300-foot plus range, and I have a feeling this coaster probably will. I mean, Kingda is a massive structure, and so you gotta replace it with one. I'd love to see a Gerstlauer like the one I described go in this spot, but I think there are some other options that are more likely. You know, I don't think I'd be talking about Premjer if it weren't for Alpine Fury. This ride looks awesome, and it shows what Premjer can do when they're allowed to go nuts. Well, I mean, it looks like it. Nobody has actually ridden it yet, so yeah, what the fuck do I know? Point is, Alpine Fury is a crazy record-breaking launch coaster. Most inversions in Canada and tied in North America is nothing to scoff at. I have faith that if Premjer were given the task, they could cook up something good. Only thing again is that Premjer's coasters generally aren't that big. If I'm not mistaken, their biggest rides are the Mr. Freeze clones, which hit over 200 feet, but are still half of what Kingda was. Premjer could be a good fit here, but probably not Six Flags' top choice. Now, I think an S&S air launch coaster is actually crazy enough to replace Kingda. Mack Sports probably has the most intense launch in the US right now. If not, it's at least in the conversation. S&S had a great relationship with old Six Flags after all the free spins installed, along with Mack Sports, of course. Think about it. Bringing in the fastest accelerating launch in the world would be a hell of a record and something intense enough to replace Kingda and match up to it. Main thing I'm worried about here is reliability, as S&S is spotty in that regard. Mack Sports has had its issues, Steel Curtain is a mess, and as for overseas, Dododolpha just got closed down, and after the incident in China, a good amount of those coasters are probably done for as well. Knowing how cautious Cedar Fair, Six Flags generally is, I don't think they'd be willing to look at S&S, especially not for a project this big. I think it'd be a great fit, but I don't think it'll be the final choice. The Intamin Blitz. Probably the greatest coaster model out there. I mean, Velocicoaster, Maverick, Tutatis, Gotham City Escape, Taiga, Terran, Pantheon, need I say more? For fun, I'll lump in the Intamin Vertical Launch Coaster here as well. And an Intamin Launch Coaster could very well be the best coaster in the park. Yes, even over El Toro. At the end of the day, these coasters please everyone, GP and enthusiasts alike. If they go with the vertical launch coaster, that can be very marketable as well. Hell, maybe they can even go with the 300-footer. We know Intamin is crazy enough to do it, but will they? Even though we heard Cedar Fair execs had apparently ridden Velocicoaster and absolutely loved it, they still have a rocky relationship with Intamin to say the least. I think there's a chance Six Flags would be willing to work with Intamin again, but on a project this big and important, I don't know, man. This is a make or break for a lot of Great Adventure fans, so Six Flags has to go with someone they trust, and I think I know who that is. Yep, it's the one everyone has been saying. I'm agreeing that it'll probably be a Mack Extreme Spinner. Now, will it be similar to the existing spinners as in Time Travel and Ride to Happiness, or will it be the one that was in the survey a while back? The 400-foot tower spinner with an upside down launch. Personally, I'd prefer a regular spinner like Ride to Happiness specifically because of how many people rank it toward the top of their coaster rankings. It's super high on my bucket list and I think it looks fantastic, but if I'm being real, it'll probably be the tower coaster. Now honestly, I still think this would be a great ride. Going down a 400-foot drop while spinning in the back row sounds like insanity, but I think I'd prefer more of a complete layout. What's the one thing that Kingda couldn't deliver for most people? A complete layout. I think following up Ka with a coaster that will even get the people that weren't fans of Ka on its side would be perfect. But because of the survey and we know Six Flags trusts Mack, I really think this is the most likely outcome. It would be my first pick, and I'll probably complain about it when it gets announced, but we won't really know how good the ride is until we actually ride it. With this as my home park, I'm beyond excited to find out what this is, and I'm just hoping it'll be a worthy successor to Kingda. If I'm being honest, I'm not that butthurt over Ka being taken out. That's not me saying I don't love the ride because it places in my top 15, but I have faith what will replace it will be even better. I think Six Flags has come to play here, and you know what? I say bring it on. That being said, I hate that they didn't actually announce that they're closing their coasters. Like, that's just fucked up. Even though it sucks Ka is gone, I'll forever have my memories with it, from when I first rode it to my last ride with my friend on its last day of operation. I'm putting my trust in Six Flags, and hopefully I don't look like a fucking idiot by the end of this.